National Curriculum Framework Pakistan Ministry of Federal Education and Professional Training. Page 29. Chapter 4. Textbooks and Supplementary Learning Materials. 4.1 Importance of Textbooks. Improvement in the quality of education is a key thrust of all education reforms for all times. Textbooks are a major intervention area to achieve this objective, provided these are of excellent quality, written in psychosocial context of the students, and are in accordance with the approved curriculum. Since the textbook is the major resource used most extensively in Pakistani public and private classrooms, it is, therefore, important to improve both the quality of content and its presentation to ensure successful implementation of the curriculum. A textbook is a comprehensive teaching and learning source that is in print or electronic form and is designed to help the students in the learning process. In many of the developed nations of the world, textbooks are considered as just one of the array of teaching and learning sources and serve mostly as reference material to verify the facts. On the other hand, in many countries of the developing world, the textbook still remains the main and in many cases the only source for instruction. This fact focuses the spotlight on textbooks as the most significant pillar for imparting quality education. It is universally acknowledged that textbooks and learning materials are fundamental and essential to education because these are the primary tools that schools use to provide students with access to the knowledge and skills they are expected to learn. 47 Textbooks are at the heart of educational enterprise, as these offer students a rich array of new and potentially interesting facts, and open the door to a world of fantastic experience. 48 A simple definition of the textbook is a book about a particular subject that is used in the study of that subject, especially in a school. 49 Another definition states textbooks are collections of study and reading material related to a specific discipline or course. 50 A more elaborate definition is that a textbook is a collection of authentic information supported by a variety of illustrations and pedagogical strategies as per prescribed curriculum. Textbooks are supposed to maximize students' inbuilt capabilities and bring desired improvements among students' cognitive, psychomotor and affective domains. It is considered as the sole source of knowledge for many pupils, therefore. 30-page textbook plays a pivotal role in the learning process of many developing countries because teachers rely totally on them to impart basic curricular content. 51 A textbook is a specially written book which contains selective and systematic knowledge. In a textbook, every care is taken to maintain coherence and sequence in the presentation of information and learning activities. It is made simple to the degree that suits the intended learner. It differs from an ordinary book mainly on the basis that it is basically student-friendly and also reflects the anticipated learning goals. That is why the textbook is called the teacher in print. 52 Textbooks and learning materials other than the textbook facilitate transmitting knowledge and building of skills, enabling learners to interact with the real world. They are not only considered as an authentic source of information but also primary tools for shaping attitude and behavior of students. At every level of education, textbooks and learning materials can be an important vehicle for promotion of knowledge and skills. 53 Therefore, the textbooks and learning materials are the main sources that convey the knowledge and information to the learners in an easy and organized way. Textbooks constitute an inseparable part of any system of education. In developing countries like ours, where even the minimum essential requirements of classroom are hardly available, the necessity of quality textbooks is quite evident. A textbook is arguably the mainstay of classroom teaching. It must contain up-to-date, well laid out, concise, easy to understand and relevant narrations on the topics and subjects. 54. The language, graphics, style, methodology, quality of printing, cost, and size of the textbook all matter. Textbooks are going to remain a key part of learning. They just need to go digital, become more interactive, and they need more analytics for realization of learning outcomes. Point 55. Textbooks are a key input towards provision of quality education. Their importance gets more highlighted where teacher quality is poor. Textbooks remain one of the most extensively used resources in our classroom, as learning materials are hardly available other than textbooks in some teaching learning contexts. Point 56. It is, therefore, important to improve the quality of content and presentation to support the successful implementation of the curriculum. 4.1.1 Source for students. Students rely heavily on textbooks as their source for essential information and as the basis for examination and appraisal. In the absence of other learning materials, the importance of textbooks increases manifold. They provide the students with facts, figures, information, and knowledge. Additionally, the textbooks provide examples of several exercises and assignments for students to practice what they have learned. Page 31. 4.1.2 Resource material for teachers. Textbooks serve as the main resource for teachers by steering their teaching process and helping them in planning the lessons and expected learning outcomes. Textbooks are the prime source of assistance for teachers as they set out the general guidelines of the syllabus in concrete form and provide foundation to the content. Teachers find the textbooks useful as they provide order and pacing of instruction and serve as a framework for teaching during the academic year. 4.1.3 Features of textbooks. As this is an acknowledged fact that much of recent education has been built around the theory of multiple intelligences, therefore, textbooks should be developed keeping in view different learning styles and needs of learners. Federal/provincial/area governments may initiate necessary steps in line with the above stages and get the textbooks developed which are a. aligned with the ideology and life philosophy of the nation. b. developed having clear learning/instructional objectives. c. complying with the requirements of the relevant curriculum. d. content-wise authentic, updated and well organized. e. fluent in narration, well illustrated and self-explanatory. f. providing scaffolding to students of diversified abilities, especially the weaker performers. g. pedagogical support for teachers, particularly those who are novice, to ensure effective delivery. h. attractive for learners, having interesting and important images. I. engaging and has activities to interact with content and illustrations. j. also a source of checking learning outcomes, pre-reading, while reading and post-reading strategies. k. a stimulus for additional reading and broadening learning thirst of students. l. equally acceptable by students of either gender. m. fluent narration having variety of texts with logical progression. n. free from indoctrination and biases nationally and even internationally. o. various venues for thought and lateral thinking for problem-solving skills. p. linguistically age-appropriate and promotes language efficiency. q. full of examples from real life to elaborate concepts and themes. r. pose challenging tasks for students to deal with problem-solving situations in real life. s. inclusive with regard to life skills, social fabric, human rights, and rights of minorities. t. subject index, glossary, references, and author's profile at the end. 32 page. 4.2 Importance of support materials to enhance learning. Teachers use the textbooks as their main resource material around which teaching is planned. In order to support the teaching process in the classroom, textbooks need to be accompanied by support material that ensures that learning is taking the desired direction. These support materials include teacher's guide and workbooks. It is believed that only prescribed textbooks cannot achieve all curriculum objectives, particularly when critical thinking, problem solving and other higher order thinking skills are required to be inculcating in the hearts and minds of learners. This also becomes imperative when national aims and objectives are to be attained in an orderly fashion. Along with the prescribed materials, teachers are to be encouraged to use the following: encyclopedia, sourcebooks, newspapers, journals, magazines, etc. 2. Auditory materials such as radio broadcasts and tape recordings. 3. Visual materials such as cutouts, maps, posters, television, and computers, etc. 4. Environment, community, and the outdoor, etc. In this regard, we must keep in mind that a deep and abiding loyalty to Islam, strengthening unity of Pakistan and securing solidarity in the outlook of the people living in all provinces and areas of the country are the main concerns that need to be fostered in the hearts and minds of our students through formal education system. Presently, we are disseminating knowledge, skills, and attitudes among our students through 3 main systems, namely traditional religious/madrasa education. 2. Education. 2. Public schools/colleges/universities. 3. Elite private schools. Unfortunately, the 3 are producing different types of products who think, behave, and act differently. Likewise, there are trust deficit among their cognitive schemas with respect to life goals and targets to be achieved. This needs to be minimized not only through formal readers but also through additional materials. Furthermore, in-depth understanding of curricular concepts and themes, supplementary reading materials are required to be developed for all grades and for all levels. Such materials are needed to be aligned with national aims and objectives of NEP. 2. Emerging trends and issues. 3. Local/regional places and people. 4. Cultural and local contexts. Developmental levels of learners. 6. Global needs and requirements. 7. Human personalities aspects, physical, mental, emotional, ethical, social and aesthetics. Page 33. Supplementary reading materials should be developed keeping in view that they enhance self and independent learning that lead to further inquiry, and thus students become real seekers of the truth and knowledge. They start to think out of box and from all angles and ultimately become intuitive and problem solvers in practical life. 4.3 Teachers' Guides. Trained teachers in well-organized schools are expected to plan out their lessons to help them structure the learning for themselves and for the students. Research indicates that all students benefit from and appreciate well-structured lessons. School curriculum and in particular the textbooks become the basis for defining the lesson planning. However, in most cases, teachers need support in designing activities that can effectively engage students in conceptual understanding and clarity. This is where the teacher's guides come in, which are designed for the specific purpose of making learning meaningful to the students. Textbooks should preferably come with a teacher's guide aimed at facilitating the teachers of how the textbook is written and how best to use it to facilitate student learning. Teacher guides provide detailed description of key concepts and provide several examples that facilitate learning. Teacher's guide serves to educate teachers and thus serve as a means of helping teachers develop professionally. Such guides may outline innovative ways of teaching a particular lesson, suggest class activities to reinforce the content, provide examples of exercises and assignments. They are particularly important when a new curriculum or new teaching strategies are being introduced, and in instances where teachers are not adequately trained. 4.3.1 Basic features of a teacher's guide. Teacher's guides are based on accompanying textbooks or curriculum, knowledge, and strategies grouped according to chapter and sequenced to correspond with text. Provides step-by-step guidance to help teacher teach the text and facilitate in performing extended activities. Provides various examples of activities that teachers can use to facilitate the students in clarifying and understanding concepts. Sets specific examples for employing various teaching strategies for suggested teaching. Gives several examples for applying various assessment strategies to measure student learning outcomes. Provides details of the teaching learning resources that can be used by the teacher. 4.4 Workbooks. Workbooks are students' books designed to include a variety of exercises that are related to each chapter in the textbook. Workbook exercises help to reinforce students' conceptual understanding of the concepts dealt with in the text, to develop their skills and abilities to apply knowledge to new situations. 34-page. 4.4.1 Basic features of a workbook. Contain exercises and activities for each chapter, topic, subtopic, when deemed necessary. Exercises and activities effectively help develop, practice and assess students' content knowledge, attitudes, skills, and higher-order thinking. Non-repetitive in style and structure in order to keep the students' interest and engagement high. To develop self-learning among students and the ability to understand and follow clear instructions. Helpful and easy to understand illustrations/examples/explanations. 4.5 Supplementary learning materials. Supplementary materials expand upon the information in the textbook. They range from chalk and blackboards to books and use of educational technology and interactive computerized lessons. Printed supplementary materials reinforce the concepts of the curriculum and go beyond the boundaries laid down by official goals and objectives to expand the scope of students' thinking and vision. They develop the students' ability to read and build up their vocabulary and encourage independent reading. Supplementary reading materials, SRMs, play a vital part in developing the habit of and love for reading. The entire scope of supplementary materials includes workbooks, reading programs or schemes, children's fiction, easy readers, stories, written plays, and anthologies, children's nonfiction, audio tapes, videotapes, multimedia learning packages, science kits, reference books, such as dictionaries and atlases, magazines, comics, posters, wall charts, and maps. 4.6 Issues and challenges in implementation. The policy faced many challenges during its implementation and could not yield desired results. Main challenges were choice on the part of the learners and competition on the part of the producer were the essence that was supposed to lead to a wider variety of quality products, i.e., textbooks and other learning materials in line with the students' learning outcomes, SLOs, identified in the curriculum. However, in practice this is not happening. The students are not exercising the right of choice given in the policy, as a single textbook is being given to the students, free of cost, by the governments. This textbook is the only learning resource being used by the teachers for delivery of curriculum content. The real competition in textbook development could also not emerge, as the private publishers have limited capacity and lack professional attitude. 2. A good textbook is not merely a well-designed collection of facts but also allows its users to assess those facts with the help of exercises and other assessment strategies. But the textbooks being developed may have following inadequacies. A. Dull narration and illustration. Page 35. B. Weaker cohesion and coherence. C. Language not compatible with the level of students. D. Concepts are poorly explained, having no examples from real life. E. Lack of alignment horizontally and vertically, grades and subjects. 3. Timely availability of textbooks is a major issue, as delays occur at every stage for various reasons. The publishers do not prepare the manuscripts well in time, the review process is too slow, the selection of textbook under free textbooks scheme is a difficult task, energy issues cause delay in printing, and delivery mechanisms are not properly placed. 18th Constitutional Amendment created an opportunity for all feed rating units to develop mechanisms for achieving goals of education through various means, including provision of quality textbooks best suited to the cognitive levels of their students. At the same time, this opportunity posed a challenge of maintaining uniformity of standards in the textual materials in the absence of any standardized yardstick to evaluate the textual materials. There is, therefore, a strong need to maintain alignment and similarity among all provinces/areas as far as textbooks as learning tools are concerned, including its development, review, approval, and delivery. 4.7 Regulatory regime for textbooks and learning materials. Keeping in view the significance of textbooks, a National Textbook and Learning Materials Policy and Plan of Action 2007 was approved by the Interprovincial Education Ministers' Conference with the main objective to improve the quality of education at all levels through better quality textbooks at affordable prices, and other learning materials, for promoting Pakistan as a knowledge-based society. 57 To achieve this objective, following actions were proposed. A well-regulated system of competitive publishing of textbooks and learning materials shall be introduced as part of an enhanced public-private partnership in the development of education in Pakistan. 2 Textbook boards shall be transformed into competent facilitating, regulating, and monitoring authorities, and shall review and help support the process of approval of textbooks for use in schools in their respective areas of jurisdiction. National Textbook and Learning Materials Policy and Plan of Action 2007 give all the details of the regulatory regime in practice at present. However, its implementation has raised a number of issues and challenges. 36 page. 4.8 Roles and responsibilities of stakeholders in textbook development. Since quality textbooks are produced jointly by the inputs of different professionals like writers, reviewers, composers, publishers, editors, illustrators, designers, psychological and assessment experts, therefore, their thinking and working must be aligned with each other to produce quality output. Especially, authors, editors and publishers play a vital role in the process, therefore, the gist of their roles and responsibilities is listed below. 4.9 Stages of textbook writing process. Textbook development by private sector publishers is relatively a new concept in Pakistan. Textbook writing is a process requiring extensive care. National Curriculum for English, 2006, for grades I-12 suggests 5 stages of textbook development. 58 Another author has suggested 5 similar stages. 59 Since these stages are quite relevant and meaningful for developing a textbook in an orderly manner, each stage is elaborated further for the stakeholders to know and understand the strengths of each stage. 1. Planning. At this stage, the writer, makes resolution to write for certain subject and grade. Studies the relevant curriculum and its requirements. Does research on what and how has been written previously. Textbook writer has command over subject matter and understands the relevant curriculum, keeps in mind scope and sequence of the concept/theme/topic, uses age-appropriate vocabulary/graded vocabulary and language. Editor and illustrator selects relevant, attractive, interesting, culturally suitable images for learners, chooses illustrations that increase understanding of students, designs graphs, icons, images to elaborate concepts, themes, and terminology. Textbook boards decides paper's quality, size, and cost of the textbook, makes decisions about printing schedule suitable to users' time frame, ensures timely delivery to the market and the centers agreed upon. Page 37. Identifies audience, their socio-economic and cultural contexts. Interviews the stakeholders to know about their expectations, etc. Considers the number of periods allocated in the scheme of studies. Chalks out time framework for continuous and consistent writing. Identifies resources needed and their maximum utilization. Finds ways and strategies to overcome issues and challenges in the process. Makes mind maps, flowcharts for logical and successful write-up. 2. Drafting. At this stage, the writer addresses teachers to give general philosophy of the curriculum, gives brief overview of structure of the textbook, units, and teaching points. States slows in the beginning of each chapter/unit to be achieved by the students after completion. Presents various advance organizers to gain attention of the audience. Starts writing on given topics, themes, concepts, and slows as per curriculum demand and requirements. Identifies examples from real life for elaboration of the concept and theme. Devise assessment strategies for checking learning achievement. Recommends AV aids, multimedia and other sources required for effective delivery of the unit/chapter. Suggests additional readers and supplementary materials for in-depth understanding. Advises composers and editors for suitable images/illustrations/graphs, etc. 3. Revising. At this stage, the writer rethinks, reconsiders, replaces, and rearranges his/her write-ups. Fine-tunes contents, tone, style, and vocabulary, phrases and sentences. Removes irrelevant texts, images, illustrations, and other elements. Checks critically cohesion, coherence, progression and unity of thought. Rewrites wordy phrases with concise ones and avoid unnecessary examples, etc. 4. Editing. At this stage, the editor checks page, picture, illustration alignment with the content. Ensures teaching guide is error-free and explicit. Checks word choice, sentence structure, punctuation, and spellings, etc. Ensures consistency in format and basic structure of each unit/chapter. Looks at pre, during and post readers/organizers for their appropriate places. 5. Field testing. At this stage, the writer gives the material to selected teachers for teaching in the classroom. Ensures that selected teachers represent the general audience/users. Obtains feedback from them systematically and objectively. 38 page. Uses feedback for incorporation in the manuscript. Gets professional satisfaction for sending the manuscript in the official or formal review process. 4.10 Textbooks Standards. All around the world there is increased awareness concerning the importance of high-quality textbooks and other learning materials that support teaching and learning process in the classrooms. The school systems in most developed countries consider textbooks as a key part of a variety of tools used for teaching and learning. Most developing countries, on the other hand, consider a textbook to be the sole and primary resource for students as well as for teachers. The first learning resource that students get in their hands when they enter a school in Pakistan is a textbook. Most of the students' future academic life is focused on textbooks, with a high probability of them experiencing a single textbook for each subject as they pass through the grades. This perceived role of a textbook increases its significance and necessitates the introduction and institutionalization of quality-focused processes for the development of textbooks. Students rely heavily on textbooks as the source of essential of learning and as the basis for appraisal and examination. In the absence of other learning materials, the importance of textbooks significantly increases. Textbooks provide students with facts and knowledge, and additionally provide examples of several exercises and assignments for students to practice what they have learned. Therefore, textbooks must be designed to be student-centered. Textbooks serve as the primary teaching resource for teachers as well, guiding their teaching process and helping them plan lessons and in setting lesson objectives. Teachers find textbooks particularly useful because they provide order and pacing of instruction and serve as a structured framework for teaching throughout the academic year. However, textbooks by themselves cannot provide everything required to achieve curriculum objectives. This is particularly true where outcomes-based curricula specify student-centered learning, problem-solving and the development of thinking skills. 4.11 Standards for textbooks and supplementary learning materials. Aligned with the curriculum by promoting child-centered pedagogy, promote harmony and unity for national cohesion and integrity, support inquiry-based learning, critical thinking, and problem-solving free from gender, ethnic, religious, sectarian, geographical, cultural, occupational biases, and respect diversity, attractive, interesting, and engaging for the learner to pursue further study. Have authentic texts presented systematically in gradual steps, provide a variety of assessment opportunities to evaluate the cognitive, psychomotor, and affective abilities, facilitates teachers to use a variety of instructional strategies to deliver the content. Page 39. The standards for textbooks can be organized around 6 broad categories and commonly agreed upon indicators for all subjects, as indicated below. Category 1. Compliance with national curriculum, goals, and objectives. 1. All the student learning outcomes, SLOs, themes, and sub-themes are properly addressed through I. Appropriate text and / or illustrations for the age / level. 2. End of chapter exercises consistent with assessment practices outlined in the curriculum. Note: some SLOs may not be part of the text and may be addressed through classroom activities, questions, etc. mentioned in the textbook. Category 2. Quality of content, language, and logical organization. 2. Text is student-centered and meets the needs of the society and interests of the students. 3. Content is accurate and up-to-date, in both text and illustrations. 4. Content is free of grammatical and punctuation errors, text and illustrations. 5. Language and content of the text is according to the age and grade level of learners. 6. Content is supported with examples and applications from real life that are interesting and relevant to students. Lives 7. Chapter/section previews and summaries. To allow learners absorb main ideas/concepts presented. 8. Relevant learning from previous grade and / or from previous chapters from the same grade is referred to for better understanding. Category 3. Quality and support for instruction. 9. Interactive questions/discussion points are given in the chapter text and end of chapter exercises to facilitate teachers in engaging students. 10. A variety of tasks and activities, based on observation and hands-on learning, are given which support inquiry-based learning, critical thinking, and problem-solving through strategies such as discussion, role play, and critical thinking. Problem-solving and inquiry skills. 11. Extension activities are included to provide further practice and reinforcement of concepts and skills. Category 4. Physical presentation. 12. Present appropriate number of child-friendly and appealing visual elements, title cover, inside pages. 13. Include a variety of visual elements such as pictures, tables, figures, maps, information boxes, mind maps, and so on, according to the different learning needs of learners, age, and grade level. 14. Visual and graphical elements have pedagogical relevance and significance. 15. Glossaries are included at the end of chapters/textbook. Category 5. Assessment. Opportunities for checking learning, formal and informal. 16. A variety of assessment strategies are included at the end of each chapter/unit. 40 page. 17. Assessment strategies assess knowledge, skills, and attitudes according to curriculum SLOs to promote better understanding, application of knowledge for problem solving, and higher-order thinking skills such as analysis, evaluation, synthesis, and creativity. Category 6. Compliance with culture and values. 18. The content, text and illustrations, is inclusive and is free from religious, sectarian, ethnic, regional, cultural, sexual, occupational, and socio-economic biases. 19. The content, text and illustrations, is free from gender bias and promotes positive images of girls and women. 20 Texts promote harmony and peaceful coexistence through respect for diversity and tolerance. 21 Content reflects democratic values, ethics, and values of all segments of society and other societies.